Hello sports fans, you're welcome to DDM Sports Central, your one-stop shop for juicy global stories. Global sporting stories, to be emphatic. Now, something happened. For those of us who have been following the UEFA Champions League, you know that we are in the quarterfinal stages, and there was an electrifying atmosphere at the Bernabeu, and I'm sure Real Madrid fans will not have the same excitement they had before the match right now. So Real Madrid fans, I beg, might use this opportunity to say, sorry, calm down. Okay, I myself didn't see it coming because Arsenal brought a lot in their arsenal and hammered. In fact, let me do it lightly so that Real Madrid fans will not hit me. They taught Real Madrid in a schoolboy way. I didn't see it coming, but I have someone in the studio right here with me who saw it coming, an unapologetic Arsenal fan. He's a political analyst too, but this guy loves Arsenal to the core. This guy still believes that Arsenal will win this year's UEFA Champions League trophy. Okay, without saying too much, I have with me in the studio somebody whose prediction, I don't know what I'll call him, but later I'll find out what the name is. The one who has believed in Arsenal up to this point and even beyond this point. Ibrahim Wase, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you for
the unapologetic Arsenal fan. See, don't mind the fact that he's wearing a Man City jersey. Do you know what he told me? Let me give you a secret to why he's putting on a Man City jersey. This guy wants to take us back to make us understand that most Arsenal fans, most Man City fans were Arsenal breakaways. So he wants to tell Man City, I may not forget to say we still D for this Champions League thing. Ibrahim, you're welcome.
Once again, thank you for having me.
Ibrahim, I cannot imagine the excitement in your heart because Definitely. Even before now you were spitty fight. But be honest, you didn't see it coming. Mind you, Arsenal, in short, Ibrahim.
Yeah, we can agree to disagree that I didn't actually see it coming. I didn't see this humiliation because Arsenal totally humbled Real Madrid. Yesterday, it was not about just winning a game.
Yeah.
It was a statement win. And Arsenal did it fashionably, in a fashionable way, stamping authority at the Emirates Stadium. You see the likes of players, the likes of Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, just couldn't believe what their eyes were seeing. Because the 2 goals, you couldn't believe it. And most of the people will say, 2 goals came from set piece. Actually, yes, it came from set piece. Declan Rice.
No, that's not an excuse for anybody. Set pieces are meant for you to defend. So if they couldn't defend the set pieces, let nobody even bring up the story of set pieces.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying even to make is the fact that it would have been worse yesterday.
Okay.
Because Arsenal, Thibaut Courtois, if not for Thibaut Courtwas, brilliant, it would have been worse.
Yeah, there was 5 early goals,
6 or 7.
Yeah.
He did triple save at an instant, double save in an instant. The fact that Real Madrid held Arsenal to a goalless draw during that first half period was because of his brilliance. Arsenal dominated Real Madrid.
Sure.
They owned them yesterday. And honestly speaking, I didn't see that coming. Although I predicted that Arsenal are going to win. Actually, I have that optimism. I have that feeling in
But
me.
You were only predicting in terms of over 2 legs.
Yeah, I was predicting over 2 legs, and I was predicting a very tight
narrow margin.
Margin, because I was predicting that maybe it will even go to a penalty. I will even said it will be a long night. Because I believe Arsenal have a formidable defense and Real Madrid have the attack. So it will be a clash of the titans. That's how I foresaw it. But it is what it is. Arsenal humble, embarrass, and destroy Real Madrid.
In fact, they taught them. But the truth about it is this: you said something. We didn't see it coming. Yes. But what actually happened on the night? Was it that Kylian Mbappe didn't show up? Was it that off night for Vinicius Junior? Or was it the fantastic play of Arsenal that made it look like Real Madrid were even playing away, maybe at the Emirates?
No, they were actually they were playing at the Emirates. They were playing away, not home.
No, I mean Madrid itself.
Yeah, Real Madrid are playing away. They're playing.
Were we playing? Oh, we're playing at Emirates. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. So let me just bring you to speed.
Okay.
I think what made Arsenal play fantastically well. Let's give the flower to Mikel Arteta. It was Mikel Arteta's master strategy plan.
Yeah.
You get Arsenal lost Gabriel Magalhaes during the weekend.
Okay.
Premier League game, and without a shadow of a doubt, he was the best defender in Arsenal team this season. Yeah. So people.
And I sense he still had this injury issue. If you notice at the point in the game too, he was still.
No. You were referring to Julian Timber. Gabriel Magalhaes lost the season. He's not going to play again for the rest of the season. He's going to miss the remaining part of the season. Okay. So the biggest question before the game was who will fill that void for Arsenal, and Arsenal just called Jacob Kivior. Even Arsenal fans were not optimistic. The last session we had, I told you that I was hoping that maybe Gabriel Magalhaes it would be just a mind game. He's going to come back and play the Real Madrid game, but Gabriel Magalhaes was not there.
Oh, you're right. That was Timber. Yeah.
Gabriel Magalhaes was not there, and this guy, Jacob Kivior, just filled in the void perfectly well and did his job fantastically well. Don't forget the attacking line of Real Madrid: Vinicius Junior, a Ballon d'Or contender; Kylian Mbappe, the best player in the world; and Rodrigo of Brazil, arguably the best attacking trio on paper. Yeah. So Arsenal have a lot of injury crisis in the team. Most of their players just came back from injury, or their key players are even injured. Their center forward, Kai Havertz, is injured. He will miss the remaining season. The person that is playing that top 9 is a midfielder, Michael Merino. Yeah. So for Arsenal to do that, he was the one who
scored the third goal. Yeah.
He was the one who scored the third goal. So for Arsenal to do that is just Arteta's masterclass. Arteta Bowl is a masterclass, and that's what I said the previous time, that we should just give that man the flower. When Man City lost Rodri, we saw it in their team. When Chelsea lost Kopama, but Arsenal lost Martin Odegaard, lost Bukayo Saka, lost Gabriel Magalhaes, lost William Saliba, lost Kai Havertz, lost Declan Rice in a space of one season, and each and every player at least spent more than 3 months. But still Arsenal are second in the Premier League table and doing what they're doing in the Champions League with only 3 goals in their net, playing 11 games in the Champions League. This is a masterclass. And they played against teams like Man City, Manchester United, Liverpool. Don't forget, in the Champions League they played against PSG, they played against Inter Milan, they played and Real Madrid recent, they played against the big boys, scoring how many goals? 7 goals away from home is a statement win. And what I said, I believe I have this ability to connect the dot in football. Okay. Sometimes I might be delusional because of the fact that I have sentimental tendencies. I believe that Arsenal would, but joke aside, sentiment aside, banter aside, I saw Arsenal winning this Champions League before the season starts.
Okay, so Prophet Ibrahim is continuing from where he stopped the last time. He's still prophesying that Arsenal will lift the trophy. No problem, we're not arguing that. Okay, now looking at a particular high point of the game, I think that was in the first half. There was this contentious call of a penalty. Was that not Asensio? I hope I'm not mixing.
Asensio.
But you know, because I saw online where somebody was saying something like, no, they don't edit them, they don't want to let us see them, blah blah blah. Nobody's seen the news flash again about that handball. But me personally, I looked at that call over and again. I don't think the arm. There's this theory, or there's this rule that if the arm is outstretched in probably playing position, then you can call it a penalty. But if you look at his arm, it was actually going away from, the ball. So it kind of hit him. So me personally, I didn't think it was a penalty. But you now, remove the fact that you're an Arsenal fan. would you have called that a penalty?
It solidly goes down to the decision of the referee.
No, what would you have said? Yes, the referee didn't count it as a penalty, but did you see it as a penalty?
I honestly see it as a penalty.
Why?
But because there are a lot of tendencies like that a penalty was awarded.
Okay.
The ball was on target. That's the number one point, and it hit him below this.
His hand was like this.
Yeah, it was like he was trying to hide the hand. The rule was if your hand is in your body, then it is not a handball. You are most likely protecting some part of your body, maybe soft tissues in your body. If you're protecting this part, it is not a handball. But once the hand is outside your body, then definitely
so the hand wasn't outside.
It was outside because it was even on target. You know, when Declan Rice headed that ball, the hand swinged, although it was not intentional. And that was why I said it narrows down to the decision of the referee. The referee might decide to award penalty or otherwise. And it is a penalty and it is not a penalty, depending on the lens you're looking at it. Because penalty were awarded on similar scenario and penalty were not awarded on similar scenarios in different matches. So it narrows down to the decision of the referee. If he decide to award penalty, I'll be okay with it. But one thing I will say here is that Arsenal did fantastically well. We even forget the penalty. Okay,
so now because they did very well, the Arsenal fans did not get to complain too much about that contentious call they called it. Now, but then let us also look at another beautiful point, which was where the goal started coming from. The free kick. Somebody would say, okay, if it was just the first time or if it was just once, you could have said it was luck. But then it was not done once. It was done twice. Has there ever been a time Declan Rice scored like that with a free kick in the Premiership, let alone the
let me make it. Let me make the point clear. That's the first free kick goal scored by Declan Rice in his career entirely. Although he was a master,
and the positioning was not that so perfect for expecting that from him.
Yeah, he was one of the set piece takers in Arsenal. He took corner kick, and from the accuracy of his corner kick, you can infer that yes, probably
it's possible,
he might deliver in free kick, but he never tried. The person that usually take penalty free kicks for Arsenal is Martin Odegaard, the captain of the club. So when I saw him on that ball, you know, I honestly, deep down in me, because when he scored the second goal, if you could remember, I didn't believe it. I was saying he scored it again. You get? Because you never score a free kick goal in your career, and to score 2 free kick goals in a space of 12 minutes in one match, Champions League quarterfinal against Real Madrid, for that matter. And the second free kick goal, let me not lie, I watched this free kick once, and it was Roberto Carlos that scored that free kick. Like, if you're talking about top bin, no goalkeeper in the world will save this free kick. He just stepped down with the tempo. Definitely, what Thierry Henry told him yesterday, he said, Rice, you were possessed. You get? Because he said, I have nothing to lose. I am playing against Real Madrid in the Champions League quarterfinal, and everybody knows what they are capable of doing. So I tell myself, let me just give it a try. You get? And he just hit it 2 times. Masterclass. The first free kick, I said definitely this free kick will be the goal of the week. Only for the second free kick to outshine the first free kick. This is something else, and that's what I said. I watched Chelsea's Champions League triumph of 2012. I watched from 2004. I've been following football closely. I'll give you a detailed analysis about everything.
From your analysis, from your prophecy, you're saying that you are looking at it. In fact, from the beginning, you've seen Arsenal on the trophy.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
I saw Arsenal winning it because you know. Let me just give you the hint of how I calculated things. I just look at the capability of the club. But sometimes it's not only about the capability of the club, what they are able to put on ground. Their mentality is the second thing. The third thing is how people believe in them. If people believe in you so much, the pressure will be much. That's why more often than not, the club that we predict to win Champions League are not the ones winning the Champions League.
Obviously, in this case, yeah.
Yes, last season, it was Real Madrid that won the Champions League. Most people predicted Man City to win the Champions League because they were clearly the better side.
Yeah.
You get, before that, it was only Man City that won the season before last season that people predicted, because they dominated Premier League, they dominated Europe in all aspects with their manager, the caliber of players they have, and all of that. But prior to that, most of the clubs, most especially that Chelsea, I want to take us back to 2012.
Okay.
At the time, I hated Chelsea with passion. And don't forget, Barcelona is my second favorite club.
Okay.
So when Chelsea would not have qualified for the quarterfinal, not even knockoff 16, round of 16, their final game against Valencia, everybody was saying, even a draw, Chelsea is out. Chelsea surprised everyone and beat Valencia 3-0 and qualify for the round of 16. They say, okay, they are going to meet Napoli, and Napoli are going to humble them. At the time, Edison Cavani was playing
that dangerous
for Napoli,
number 7.
and Hamsik, one guy that very, very fantastic player. Napoli were at their peak. Don't forget, they beat Chelsea 3-1 first leg. Nobody was expecting Chelsea to come back. They came back in a fashionable way, beat Napoli 4-1 in their backyard.
And so before you knew what was going on, Chelsea just kept, moving on and on and on.
Yeah. And the primary point,
and even
the
got to the point
semi-final,
when their coach was dismissed.
The coach was sacked because they were performing poorly in the Premier League.
AVB now took over.
That's David Roberto Di Matteo. Roberto Di Matteo was the one who took a charge from Villas-Boas. Villas-Boas, they said he was the special one, the reincarnation of Jose Mourinho, due to the fact that he did well at FC Porto. And they signed Mourinho from FC Porto after he won Champions League with FC Porto. So they were kind of, Villas-Boas is going to give them that, what Mourinho did in the club. So Villas-Boas was dismissed. His assistant, Roberto Di Matteo, took charge. They were doing poorly in the Premier League. They finished 6th last season. They finished 6th. So the semi-final, the quarterfinal, they played against Benfica. That was the only easy ride for them. They reached, we say, the final roadblock was that Champions League semi-final against Barcelona. Don't forget that Barcelona had Messi, the super Messi that scored more than 90 goals that season.
Where Torres kept them calm.
That season Messi scored more than 90 goals. The highest peak that Messi ever reached. But he couldn't score against Chelsea with a lot of injury crisis.
And to be honest, then Chelsea, for me, had the best defense.
They had the best
defense.
That's the same thing that Arsenal have, and that's the point I want to connect. You get? And they played against Bayern Munich in Bayern Munich Stadium. The final 2012 was played in Allianz Arena, which happened to be the stadium of Bayern Munich. And they played against Bayern Munich, and they beat Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich had 22 shots, had 1 goal. Chelsea, 0 shot on target. First shot on target, equalizing goal. I say, no, Chelsea are going to win.
That was the Drogba through a corner kick. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, he has taken us down memory lane to take us to how he feels. He wants to connect the deja vu, if I'm going to use that word. He wants to connect it to give us a proof that this year is Arsenal's year. Okay, fine. I think we should have a little time to discuss the other match that took place, and that was Bayern Munich. Okay, if I didn't say it, Arsenal whipped Real Madrid 3-0, and a lot of Real Madrid. Okay, maybe before I switch to Bayern Inter, do you see any magic? I personally, I know I was one who said Real Madrid was going to qualify over 2 legs, but with this, I don't see them coming back. But do you? Remove the fact that you're an Arsenal fan. Do you see Real Madrid doing any magic the second leg?
No, it will be a tough game at the Bernabeu, definitely, in front of their fans, and they will use any tactic to make sure that they oppress the Arsenal players in their own stadium. The fans, don't forget their stadium, they close the stadium. They'll close the stadium. They use a lot of strategies. I know it's gonna be a very, very tough
But
game.
3 goals, I don't see that.
Yeah, Arsenal conceding 3 goals. In the last 11 games, they conceded only 3. And 2 goals came in a single match when they rested all their key players because they have done the match. That was against PSG. So I am not thinking any club will just... And by the way, the whole of the season, no club scored 3 goals against Arsenal in any match. Not just this season, last season. No club, no, last season in the Carling Cup, West Ham scored 3 goals against Arsenal. But apart from that, West Ham 3 goals against Arsenal in the Carling Cup, no club in that space of period of time scored 3 goals against Arsenal. And Arsenal are doing fantastically well. I don't know why people are just ruling the possibility of Arsenal winning against Real Madrid before the game. Because Arsenal, they might lose against small teams, but in the last three seasons, they didn't lose against a big side, most especially in Premier League. Beating Man City home and away. The best that Man City get is a draw. Manchester United, their biggest rivals. Liverpool, Chelsea, doing it again and again and again.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if I leave Ibrahim is going to take the whole day talking about Arsenal's victory over Real Madrid. Well, it is their time. Let them enjoy it while it lasts. Okay, now we're looking at Bayern Munich against Inter. To be sincere with you, if there was anything that I really liked about that game, it was the fact that Müller came in as a substitute and got them the equalizer, even though they later lost. Yes, Bayern Munich lost at home to Inter Milan by 2-1. But then, what do you think that Bayern Munich didn't do right against Inter Milan?
Well, that game is a very tight game.
Yeah.
If you watch the game, it was very, very tight. Any side can win. But Inter Milan just were electrifying yesterday. And they played away from home. And they got the win.
For our information, if Inter Milan, to be sincere, Inter Milan, just like in Arsenal's game, but not really as much as Arsenal, Inter controlled a great part of the game. Inter, they had their passes well spread, and to a large extent, it was looking like, who day home? The other thing we used to say in local parlance, who day home, who day home? That first goal, because sincerely, Inter lost a couple of chances. Bayern, yes, they lost some chances as well, half chances. But that first goal by Martinez, I think it was a defensive miscalculation. Somebody should have been able to hold Thuram. A cross was given, and there was still enough space for this guy to do a back flick, a quick back flick for Martinez to now slot. So I think, to a large extent, Bayern did themselves a lot of harm by giving space to Inter Milan to operate. Because, trust me, and one thing they did well again was that after the goal, these guys did not go back to sit. And looking at it, getting to 70-something minutes, and you're introducing Müller, I was like, what is Müller going to do?
And Müller is old, by the way.
That is the thing. This guy did not allow the age thing to come into play. It was surprising to see that this guy came in and brought in some spark to the attack and was able to give them the equalizer before the heartbreak in the 88th minute that Inter Milan got to get the winner. And now we're looking at the second leg just as we looked at the first leg. Don't you think it's over for Bayern Munich? Surprisingly for me.
I think, honestly, I predicted Bayern Munich to go through. And
I also predicted Bayern Munich to go through.
I accept that. I accepted that I'm wrong on that side. I don't think they are going to San Siro and do any magic. Although it's Champions League.
It's Champions League, that's just the thing.
Anything can happen. Arsenal women, they were beating in their backyard 2-0 at the Emirates. You know the thing. They look at the thing is going in line though. Arsenal play against Real Madrid in the women football. Their women beat us 2-0 in their home. We beat them 3-0 in their home. Our women qualify for the semi-final, so we are going to qualify also for the semi-final, beating both their women and men. So Bayern Munich is just the experience of the manager. It's Vincent Kompany. Vincent Kompany just managed in the championship. He managed Burnley, and Burnley qualified to the Premier League. He came to the Premier League last season Premier League was so competitive, so he couldn't do anything. They got relegated again. So Bayern Munich signed him because of the potentials they saw in him. He's a young manager, and without a shadow of a doubt, he has the talent and all of that. So they signed him, expecting him to do magic. But winning Champions League in your first season is not for everyone. Most of the managers need time to study the league, because this is the tough.
But to be sincere, I never even thought Kompany was going to get this far, because I know there was a lot of criticisms following the appointment of Vincent Kompany. What does he know? This is Bayern Munich, the size of the club. This guy is not going to be able to fit into the shoes of managing Bayern Munich. But to some extent,
he has a fantastic mentality. He has a fantastic mentality. Kudos to him. But Bayern Munich also have their own spirit. You just can't. You come to a club like Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid. If you are a manager at all, you do well. You get, because these clubs, they have their own spirit. Anybody that is playing against Real Madrid, Thierry Henry said it all. He said the best way to beat Real Madrid is to remove that phobia that I am playing against Real Madrid. No, I'm playing football against 11 players. That's the only thing. But if you come with that, psychologically you're finished. So, and that's what some of the things that help these clubs, because of the record they have. Most of the teams, they are coming with that phobia. No, I'm playing Real Madrid with 15 Champions League titles. You get, I'm playing against Bayern Munich with 6 Champions League titles, and they dominated Germany for years. So that's the phobia, and any manager will easily fit into that system and did fantastically well. Although I'm not downplaying the fact that Vincent Kompany is doing well, considering his experience, I'll clearly say we have 3 potentially good managers in Europe, young managers. Michael Arteta, I'm not being selfish.
No, but it's the truth. It's obvious.
Yes,
it's obvious.
Michael Arteta, Alonso of Bayern Leverkusen, and definitely Vincent Kompany.
So that leaves us to the second legs of these games that we have analyzed for you. We are hoping that Arsenal will not stumble.
And today also we have 2 games.
Yes, there are 2 games today. We have PSG. Anyway, let's round up the one we're talking about. We definitely look at the 2 games. So we're saying that we are hoping that Arsenal does not stumble in the second leg when they travel to the Bernabeu to face Real Madrid. They're going with a 3-0 advantage. And then Inter Milan are going to be resting at home with a 2-1 advantage. Trust me, those guys are going to lock up. Well, let's see how it goes in the second leg against Bayern Munich. They have a 2-1 advantage. And then the games for today. We have PSG taking on what I'll call the surprise team, Aston Villa. How do you see that game? I still have a soft spot for Aston Villa, sincerely. I still see them as that team you may not be really expecting something from, the dark horse, and they may just eliminate PSG over 2 legs.
It is possible, though. You can't say in sports. But honestly speaking, my prediction is not like that. I'm seeing PSG qualifying to the semi-final. Due to the fact that their manager, Luis Enrique, is more experienced in the Champions League than Aston Villa manager. What's the name of the man again? He's a fantastic manager though, but not like Enrique. And the clubs also. Don't forget, Aston Villa are the European champions, not PSG. PSG never won Champions League. Aston Villa were European champions. They have 1 Champions League title in their cupboard. So, but going by current form, current indices, I'm predicting PSG to qualify for the semi-final.
And then we have Barcelona taking on Borussia Dortmund. The Borussia Dortmund, if we look at, just like I said in the previous edition of DDM Sports Central, I said that if we are going to be judging by the last games, you may likely give it to Dortmund, but this is Barcelona. Dortmund won their last home game in the German Bundesliga by trashing their opponents. I can't remember now, but they trashed them 4-1. While Barcelona played out a 1-1 draw in their own La Liga game. But looking at it, you already said Arsenal, Barcelona for final. So already I think you should be.
Definitely. You know,
but what does Barcelona have as the edge over Borussia Dortmund? Looking at the fact that these guys are also young and they're good.
No, it's not about being young and good. I talk about record. We also talk about the experience and the clubs in themselves. Barcelona, is currently doing better than Borussia Dortmund. They are leading the La Liga table, right?
That's
and
with 4 points.
Yes, but they are leading regardless. And again, they have players that are in superb form. Players like Lamine Yamal, Rafinha. Rafinha is having the season of his career in Barcelona JC. So definitely Barcelona are enjoying it, and I don't think this is the most easiest game to predict for me. Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund. Don't forget, Borussia Dortmund last season played a Champions League final against Real Madrid. But this season it's not going to happen. Barcelona
and give Real Madrid easy way out. That I don't like remembering that.
So but Barcelona will definitely trash them out. They will trash them. It won't be even close. The game against PSG against Aston Villa will be a close one, very, very close one, because Aston Villa have been a thorn on the skin of most of the top clubs in England and now in Europe. They beat this club in, what's the name of the club, in the league phase. Definitely they will do well. It will be a tight one, but at the end I'm predicting PSG.
Okay, with that, we've come to the end of the analysis. Please do not forget to send in your own predictions. In fact, entry of predictions ended at the end of the games today. So we're going to look at it and see if we have anybody going towards that direction, or if one game, don't spoil your ticket, like we say in local parlance. So if we have any correct entry, that person stands a chance to, in fact, that person will get a gift from DDM Sports Central. Okay, until we come your way with another edition, another analysis, we are likely going to give you an analysis of the games that we're going to have between Barcelona and Borussia Dortmund, and then between PSG and Aston Villa. We'll likely come back here again and do a review of those matches. And once again, the unapologetic Arsenal fan, Ibrahim Umar Wase, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me once again.
And thank you out there for taking your time to watch us, to listen, and follow us with the reviews we've had of the Champions League games, quarterfinal games that have taken place. So until we come your way again on another edition, do not forget to like, share, comment on this edition and other previous editions we've had on DDM Sports Central. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diaspora Digital Media. We are on all social media platforms, Diaspora DM on Twitter, Diaspora DM on Instagram, and then Diaspora Digital Media on all other social media platforms. Until I come your way with another sparkling edition, analysis, whatever it is that we have to give to you for your viewing pleasure, I remain your host with the sparks, Ugochukwu. Do have a lovely and sporty day ahead. Bye for now.